What if Anakin only killed corrupt Jedi Masters during Order 66? Let's explore the depths of this scenario in the video. Anakin leads his troops up the steps of the Jedi Temple to confront the Jedi once and for all. But while he appears fully committed, his mind is racing and thinking. He already knows that Order 66 has been activated and countless Jedi are dying across the galaxy. He has little sympathy for those like Mace and the Council. But in this temple there are innocents, younglings, padawans, and those too old to fight.
Sir, is something wrong? You seem nervous.
No, Commander. Well, there is... I want you to order your men to set your blasters to stun.
Sir?
You heard me, Commander. These Jedi could prove useful alive if they're captured. I want you to see my orders done, now.
Very well.
With that, Anakin feels his conscience clear as he leads his troops through the temple. True to his word, Appo and his troops only use stun rounds. They advance into the temple, blasting through waves of Jedi. For his part, Anakin advances through the halls, dispatching the attackers with brutal efficiency. He uses the Force and non-lethal lightsaber attacks to deal with younglings and inexperienced Jedi. However, when the Jedi Masters and corrupt Jedi attack him, Anakin shows them no mercy and unleashes his full power. This makes the process slower, and the clones take more losses, but the Jedi Order is spared the worst of their destruction. As the clones depart the temple, they lead a trail of prisoners that includes hundreds of padawans, younglings, and inexperienced Jedi, along with a handful of instructors and masters. Anakin is sure to report this to the Senate with Palpatine present. While the Emperor is displeased with this turn of events, Anakin frames it as an act of mercy by the Empire, sparing these children who were also just as much victims of the Jedi. Anakin suggests they can reform the Jedi into something better by taking them to their original roots. They can start by making these remaining Jedi swear fealty to the Empire. Many in the Senate approve of this plan, and Palpatine has to admit he's been outmaneuvered. Over the next few days, the Jedi survivors publicly swear their loyalty to the new regime, though Vader ensures they swear it to the Empire, not to Palpatine. Meanwhile, those who refuse are executed. The next course of action is to deal with the remnants of the CIS. Here, Anakin offers to handle the task, but requests a Jedi strike force. He recruits those Jedi most desensitized to war and who wish for nothing more than to end it. Among those are Barriss and a handful of other knights. With this party, Anakin journeys to Mustafar to confront the remaining CIS leaders. The mission goes off without a hitch, at least until Obi-Wan shows up, forcing the group to confront him.
Anakin, this madness must end.
You are too late, old friend. The war is over, and the Jedi as you know it are no more. Obi-Wan moves with the grace and precision of a seasoned warrior, his blue blade a blur as he engages the strike force. Barriss and the other knights try to confront him, coming at him from all sides. The Jedi Master is a formidable opponent, meeting all their attacks with quick thrusts and counterattacks. One by one, the knights fall around them, until Barriss is left. She meets his attacks, blocking his thrusts, then counterattacks until Anakin joins them. Their blades meet in a thunderclap, sending sparks everywhere as the two push against him. Obi-Wan doesn't give up so easily, defending each strike as they begin pushing him back. First through the halls and then towards the landing pad. Before he realizes it, they leave the facility entirely and are on the shores of the lava river. Obi-Wan tries to get some distance on them by hurling molten rocks. This buys him some time as the two need to back up. Barriss and Anakin synchronize their attacks and shatter them with the Force just as Obi-Wan leaps out from the ruins and strikes. He manages to hit Barriss across the flanks, sending her tumbling to the ground. This frees him up to face Anakin. Before he can face him directly, Anakin lunges towards him, but Obi-Wan lashes his lightsaber out and cuts his arm off. The force of the blow sends Anakin stumbling into the lava. The Jedi Master watches sorrowfully as his apprentice burns. As a result, he doesn't notice Barriss sneaking up on him and plunging the lightsaber into his back. Barriss, wounded but determined, pulls Anakin from the edge of the lava flow, using what little strength she has left to drag him to safety. She places Anakin on a makeshift stretcher and takes him back to their shuttle, where they can go to the medical station. However, as they take off, Anakin reaches out and grabs the young Jedi with an order to rescue his wife and children. Barriss leaves Anakin with the medical droids before heading to the medical station where Padme is. Although the medical droid saves him, his body is beyond repair. This forces him into his Darth Vader armor. To make matters worse, Vader learns that his wife Padme dies, leaving him with children. However, without Obi-Wan, Barriss can recover the children from the medical station before Yoda or Bail gets to them. When Anakin recovers, he wakes up in a different galaxy, one where the Empire reigns supreme, with the remnants of the CIS and Jedi in hiding. Much of this is thanks to him, though he receives little gratitude from Palpatine, who sees his injuries as a failure. As far as he's concerned, Anakin is no longer worthy of becoming his apprentice. However, he cannot get rid of him entirely and continues using him. In the aftermath of the Clone Wars, Anakin is made part head of the Imperial Jedi Order, and they pivot their efforts to rebuilding the galaxy. The Jedi help rebuild by providing supplies to worlds, enforcing the laws, and defeating CIS holdouts and insurgents. As head of the Order, Anakin sets up chapters across the galaxy to monitor problems in different sectors, whether it's humanitarian crises or issues with the Empire. This is a proactive approach to dealing with problems and wins back people's favor with the Jedi. While Palpatine initially opposes the new Jedi Order, especially with Vader's sway over them, to challenge them, the Emperor invests considerable resources in the Imperial military as a counterweight, and by gathering Jedi into a rival organization, the Inquisitors. These consist of the most fanatical Jedi who have fallen to the dark side, but with a much larger pool of Jedi to choose from. They are something of a military caste within the Empire. Palpatine is always on the lookout for promising new recruits. One who catches his attention is young Barriss Offee. After hearing of her actions on Mustafar, he recruits her into this order and gives her the training he had intended for Anakin. This training includes mastering different lightsaber forms and fully harnessing the abilities of the dark side. Vader doesn't care too much, as he has his own plans. With his children by his side, he enrolls them in the Imperial Jedi Order as his apprentices. Both prove to be adept Jedi. Luke is a natural Force user and duelist, while Leia is a better leader. Barriss, meanwhile, develops into a skilled Inquisitor, hunting down dozens of rogue Jedi over the years. However, while her skills can never match Vader's, Palpatine finds her more malleable and plans to replace him with her. Instead of just defeating Darth Vader, Palpatine seeks to discredit him. He does this by sending Vader and his children on a mission to hunt down his former Padawan, Ahsoka. Vader manages to track her to Malachor, where her rebel cell are investigating a Sith temple. Taking Luke and Leia with him, the trio journey to the planet where they learn an Inquisitor strike team is already present, and Vader believes they are there to test him. As the three journey down into the darkness of the temple, they find Ahsoka and two young Jedi, Ezra and Kanan. As the group searches, they find no artifacts, but they do find something worse, the mighty Darth Maul. As the group's leader, Vader leaps in front of them, alongside his children.
Ahsoka, your rebellion ends here, but you do not have to die. In truth, you have immense use for me.
We won't back down, or work with a scum like you. Not now, not ever.
Father, we can take them.
We don't have to fight you. We share a common enemy.
All of them draw their lightsabers and rush to face each other, illuminating the temple with brilliant lights of their blades. In the center, Ahsoka and Vader duel, their movements quick and coordinated as they use their knowledge of each other to predict their attacks. As a result, neither one manages to land a blow and counter each attack. Luke and Leia engage Ezra and Kanan, while Maul watches, waiting for his moment. The Skywalker twins quickly gain the upper hand, having both experience and their natural abilities, though Ezra and Kanan fight as a team and try to protect each other. The coordination between Luke and Leia is something else. They unleash a flurry of attacks, striking and swapping with each other to keep the rebel pair on their toes. They focus first on Kanan, who is the more skilled of the two. Luke slashes low, striking the ground just as Leia rushes forward to press the attack. Kanan struggles to block them and nearly loses his head. Vader pushes Ahsoka back using the Force to create distance. He glances at his children, then back to Ahsoka.
Ahsoka, join me. We share the same goal. Together we can overthrow the Emperor and bring order to the galaxy.
I won't join you, Anakin. Not after what you've done.
What I have done, I allowed the Jedi Order to continue existing despite the Emperor's orders. I risked everything to spare the innocents, and only punish the guilty.
And what of Obi-Wan? Is he one of the guilty?
He could not see the truth. I had to get rid of him to overthrow the Emperor.
Ahsoka grips both lightsabers. Then, from the walls, she delivers a kick that knocks him off balance. Before she presses the attack, a trio of figures leap out from the ledge. This gives Vader the chance to recover and blocks her next attack. He then rams his shoulder into her.
Lord Vader, you confess your treason. The Emperor shall hear of this.
The Inquisitors attack, further confusing this battle. This time Maul throws himself into the fight, joining Ahsoka as they defend against both Fifth Brother and Seventh Sister. Ahsoka backs up against a wall as Maul joins the fight. Both begin to whirl and spin, moving more like a dance and creating unpredictable attack patterns that has the others struggle to defend against. Though highly skilled, the Inquisitors find themselves on the defensive while Vader throws heavy attacks that the Eighth Brother can't dodge or defend against. This drives the Eighth Brother towards the ledge until Vader shoves his lightsaber into his chest. The Sith Lord turns his attack to Maul next. The two Sith apprentices duel while Ahsoka deals with the Seventh Sister. Meanwhile, Fifth Brother is also facing problems, as he finds himself hemmed in by Kanan. Ezra, meanwhile, continues dueling with Luke. This leaves Leia free to attack. She rushes towards Kanan while he's distracted. Her lightsaber flashes and strikes him across the back, leaving his body twitching in pain, while the Eighth Brother finishes him off by slashing his neck. Leia follows up and attacks the Inquisitor, cutting him down before he can defend himself. Ezra screams behind them and feels the dark energies of the temple flowing through him. He grabs Luke with the Force and begins choking him. Leia runs to his side, but is shoved to the ground by Maul, who slams into her.
Not so fast, young one. Finish him, Ezra.
Ezra looks up at Luke and hesitates. Snarling at the weakness, Maul hurls his lightsaber and cuts Luke down. As he retrieves it, he prepares to stab his lightsaber towards Leia, but a body slams into him and sends him sprawling out. Vader advances slowly, shoving Ezra with the Force. Leia jumps to her feet and rushes towards the downed rebel, starting to rain punches on him. Vader and Maul stare down at each other, the hatred flowing through their bodies. Vader lunges forward, unleashing a flurry of attacks aimed at breaking Maul's defenses, though this proves to be difficult. He expertly blocks and counters each attack the Sith Lord throws at him. When their lightsabers connect, they burst into sparks of red and black, the darkness creeping up with each attack. But as they lock blades, Leia looks up from the ruined body of Ezra and slashes at Maul's side, allowing Vader to finish him off. This only leaves Ahsoka, who stares down at the body of Luke.
Anakin, I'm so sorry.
There is a price that needs to be paid.
With lightning speed, he rushes at Ahsoka, who barely brings her lightsaber up. She gasps and defends as Leia comes rushing in from the side. The two attack relentlessly, forcing the exhausted Jedi to her breaking point. Despite her best efforts, her defenses slacken, and she begins suffering injuries. That is until one lucky lightsaber strike from Leia takes her eye, leaving her unable to see as Vader's lightsaber enters her throat. As her body falls, the two look at one another, the only survivors of the battle. Or so they think. From the shadows, Barriss has her probe droid recording everything. She knows that her team will not survive, but their sacrifice will fully discredit Vader. Not only does he admit to treason, but he also kills fellow Imperial officers. She sends this information to Palpatine, who can commence with Phase 2. As the two return to the Jedi Temple, they find it awash with fire as Imperial stormtroopers stream through the steps, cutting down the Imperial Jedi they had fought alongside just days before. At their head were the elite Inquisitors, who ruthlessly cut down their former Jedi brothers. Meanwhile, those who remained loyal to their order felt the full consequences of their action. Those younglings and padawans who survived the original Jedi Purge were facing another one now taking their fallen master's place. When Anakin and Leia see this, they immediately join the fight. Darth Vader falls on the battlefield like a god of death, his lightsaber sweeping from side to side, cutting down all on his way. For a moment, the Imperial Jedi rally, as not even the nearest Inquisitor is a match for the Dark Lord. As the Jedi reform, Leia takes command, organizing the defenses, while they take stock of what happened. The Imperial forces besieged them earlier, and Jedi were still fighting for control when Barriss and her elite strike team stormed the control room. Vader understands that's where he's needed, and rushes off while Leia takes command of the defenses. As he strides down the halls, Vader sees the bodies of countless Jedi, the same ones he tried to save all those years ago. All lay dead on the ground. This fills him with white-hot rage as he confronts the traitor Barriss. True to the reports, she is in the High Counselor's tower with a handful of her lieutenants. Without a word, Vader ignites his lightsaber and charges forward, swinging his weapon in a powerful arc. Barriss turns just in time to block his attack before leaping back. As she moves out of reach, Vader turns to the other traitors. One tries to raise his lightsaber, but Vader runs him through with his lightsaber, while another flanks him and slashes at him. The weapon strikes at Vader's cape as he pivots away. He turns and bears down on the hapless Inquisitor, who moves like lightning, shattering her defenses before Vader slashes her from shoulder to waist. He's interrupted by a box crashing against him. Barriss lifts her visor to smirk and hurls a second one. Vader crushes it in midair and sends the splinters flying back at her. Hundreds of tiny wood chips herald Vader's next attack as he comes rushing at her. Barriss meets his attack, their lightsabers clashing with sparks and flashes of light. The duel is fierce and fast-paced, with Barriss dodging and weaving between each strike that comes her way. She knows she can't match Vader's strength, so she tries to win with speed and agility, dodging his attacks to wear him down. Barriss defends desperately, throwing quick but ineffectual attacks that barely scratch Vader's armor while trying to dodge his attacks. However, it doesn't last as Vader's power is too much. She parries a heavy blow, only to be driven back by a powerful force push. She stumbles, barely managing to stay on her feet. Vader follows up by slashing her across the shoulder, shattering her pauldron before she can defend herself.
You are a fool. The Jedi Order was corrupted to its core. They needed to be destroyed.
You say that as if you weren't a Jedi before.
I told you all of this before you even realized what was happening. I saved your life. I should be Palpatine's apprentice.
Then you shall die screaming alongside him.
Not before Leia.
Barriss grabs a thermal detonator from a fallen lieutenant and hurls it at Vader. The detonator explodes, creating a cloud of dust and debris. Vader's armor takes most of the blow and emerges from the dust, unharmed but furious. Barriss tries to make her escape by running out the door, but Vader grabs her with the Force and hurls her out the window just as the full impact of her words hits him. He turns and sprints back towards the temple entrance. When he arrives, the situation has deteriorated further. Wounded Jedi lay all around him as reinforcements arrive. Not just more Inquisitors, but also the infamous royal guards of Palpatine. The Emperor himself has joined the fight, and Vader sees him dueling one of the last Jedi standing, Leia. The young Jedi is fighting fiercely, but she's clearly struggling against the Emperor's relentless attacks and is slowly given ground as the remaining Jedi fall. As Vader approaches, his royal guards try to stop him. They charge at him with force pikes and electrostaffs. They try to swarm him, swinging their weapons all at once, but Vader catches it with his lightsaber and throws them back. As they stumble, His blade finds each one of them. Just in time, too, as Palpatine shoves Leia back. He picks up the pace, but another guard comes charging with a spear. Vader stops to slash it in half, then finish it off. But then another tries to grapple with him. Although they aren't strong enough to defeat Vader, they can slow him down and prevent him from helping. He slams his head against the guard and throws him over his shoulder. Vader blocks a third as he tries to fire at him with a blaster and strangles him with the Force. As he turns, he watches as Palpatine strikes Leia across the side. Vader clenches his fist and sends a shockwave reverberating across the courtyard, killing the remaining guards as they come his way, though Palpatine remains standing and smiles.
I thought you knew me, my apprentice. I never do anything in half measures. That includes dealing with the Jedi, and she was part of the Jedi Order. When I am through with you, that only leaves the Grand Master.
Vader charges at Palpatine, his red lightsaber blazing with fury as the Emperor laughs and meets the attack. They send sparks flying, the impact with Palpatine inching back as Vader looms large. The dark side calls to him, and he welcomes it, eager for the chance at revenge. He shoves Palpatine back and launches a second attack, Palpatine blocking each attack while giving ground as he parries. Despite his age, he moves with impressive speed, drawing on his rage. Vader taps into the deepest reservoirs of the dark side, his strikes becoming more powerful and desperate. For a moment it seems as if he might overpower his master. Their sabers lock and Vader pushes Palpatine back, his eyes blazing with hatred. Palpatine's smile fades as he realizes Vader's strength. He narrows his eyes and channels his dark energy, lightning crackling around his fingers. Vader blocks his attacks with his lightsaber but leaves him occupied. While distracted, Palpatine hefts his lightsaber and gives a quick thrust at Vader's chest. Pain sears through Vader's body as the blade hits him, but he quickly bats it aside. Then he coughs and gasps. Glancing down, he sees spark flying from the controls of his armor. It was a shallow blow, but Palpatine hit a critical section. Vader leaps forward with a powerful downward strike. Palpatine sidesteps and counters, their sabers clashing again and again. The courtyard trembles with the force of their battle, ancient stones cracking under the strain. But Palpatine is relentless, his attacks precise and merciless. He feints, then slashes low, catching Vader off guard. A deep wound burns into Vader's side, and he staggers, his strength waning. Palpatine seizes the moment, launching a relentless barrage of lightning. Vader screams in agony as the dark energy courses through him, dropping to one knee. But then his breathing begins to ease. From the corner of his eye, he sees Leia starting to get up, clutching her side where Palpatine's blade struck her, but still alive. The darkness around him seems to dissipate as he collects himself. Palpatine remains ignorant of this as he looms over him.
You spared the Jedi, Anakin, and now it amounts to nothing. You thought you could defy me. Though my plans took longer, I will see them done. The difference is you shall not be here to witness them.
With a final devastating surge of lightning, Palpatine prepares to strike Vader down. But the Chosen One's hand snatches his leg and pulls him off his feet. Palpatine yelps and drops to the ground as Vader stands with renewed strength. The Dark Lord, surrounded with an aura of righteous fury, his power radiating around him as he brings his lightsaber up. Palpatine raises his head and screams just as Vader slices through it. Shortly after, the Jedi report that they have secured the temple. Casualties are heavy, but most of the Inquisitors and Stormtroopers are gone. However, without Palpatine, Vader now has a clear shot at the throne of the Empire, with Leia by his side. The remaining Jedi pledge their service to him, and with them, they can regain their rightful place in the galaxy. That's our theory, The Star Wars universe is a galaxy filled with exciting stories and possibilities, and we love exploring them. If you want to accompany us on this journey to a galaxy far, far away, then please like, share, and subscribe to our channel.